All right, well, it's about that time to get started. I wanted to welcome everyone to our webinar. Thanks so much for joining. My name is Monica Sari. I'm the VP here at Assessments 24/7. We really want to share with you that we're here for you, right? We really value all of our clients. We're a 100% virtual company. So we want to share some tips with you that we've learned. The company's been virtual actually over 20 years. So Kathy Hanson's going to give you some really great tips about conducting a successful business virtually, especially trainings and coaching regarding assessments. So she's going to do that. But I think more importantly, we really wanted to just bring everyone together, right? This is a very interesting time, and we just wanted to be there for you and support you. So as I've been saying for the last couple minutes, feel free to participate. There's a Q&A there that you can list any questions, any comments. Feel free to share in the Q&A. We're going to go through those and answer while we're talking through this webinar. So again, I invite you to participate. We're also going to send out a survey after the webinar is done. We're also recording this. So you'll get a link to the recording if you want to share it with anyone. Feel free to do so. So that'll be in an email. The survey is really meant to gather your feedback on the webinar. We want to continue to do these webinars on an ongoing basis to bring together the community and the Assessments 24/7 family. But we want to do topics that are relevant to you and that you want to hear about. So please do take some time at the end to fill out that survey, and we'll be able to create webinars like this in the future that are to your liking. So again, thank you everyone, welcome. I'd love to take some time to introduce, and we have quite a few clients on the line here, so I know some of you already know us, but we have the lovely Kathy Hanson here. She's our Director of Instructional Design and Certification. She's going to be doing a lot of the instruction today. She's a pro. She does this every day. She does virtual training, so she's going to share her tidbits. So thanks for joining us, Kathy. And we have Suzette Chaparro. She's our VP of Client Success. She's going to help walk you through the new 360 platform. And everyone, all the panelists are welcome to comment. We have Jen Larson. I think everyone knows Jen. She is kind of like in charge of our training department and does all of our instructional design. So she's here to help too. So with that, again, I welcome you all, and just sit back and enjoy, and we'll try and answer the questions as we go along, and then maybe actually live answer towards the end of the webinar. So go ahead, Kathy.
Okay. Well, as Monica said, we really wanted to just come together as a community. And first and foremost, we really think that, or we hope that you and your family, your loved ones, your friends are all safe and healthy. These are unprecedented times, and we're finding ourselves in some interesting situations. But most of all, we just really hope that you're all healthy. So we wanted to kind of be able to do that check-in with you. And we wanted to connect with you to let you know that we are here. And as Monica said, we've been doing this virtually since the beginning. And so this part of it is not new to us. Part of the reason we put this together for you is to make that connection with you and let you know we are here. But also because some of our clients have in this situation asked us, what do I do? How can I do this virtually? How can I do this online when I can't go out and meet with my clients right now? And since we do this every single day, we thought that we would put this together for you just to be a launching pad for this conversation. As Monica said, you're going to receive a survey at the end of this, and you're going to have the opportunity to ask us some questions. Also share some of your best tips. We know that many of you are doing this online all the time already, and so you're going to have some great tips to share with the community as well. Please fill out that survey, because the answers to that are going to help drive us forward in whatever this looks like going forward, whether it's additional webinars or some blog posts, social media, emails, whatever it is that you need to support you and beyond. And I think you're going to learn some things today that can even help you streamline your business going forward. Okay, so the agenda today, we're going to talk about some best practices We're going to take a little bit of time to also talk about disc styles in crises. This is sort of a crisis situation, and disc styles can change. So we want to make sure that you're in tune with that, remembering your skill set in this area. So we'll just have a little bit of a reminder of that. We're going to talk about doing your business virtually. We're also going to talk about virtual certifications, and then, as we mentioned, the follow-up survey. So let's dive right in. So I'm going to take some time to just give you just a few best practices to begin with. Notice at the top there, we mentioned plan versus panic. I know that many of you have probably seen several webinars lately. Everybody's jumping online and getting creative about connection. And that's one of the themes that's coming out here is planning versus panicking. If you don't have a plan for something, especially when it becomes big like this and unexpected, and we don't know how long this is going to last, the tendency is to then panic. All you have to do is go out to the grocery stores or Costco and see a lot of panicking going on. We want to help calm that. We want to help give you some tools that will help you to be able to just take a deep breath and put a plan in place. I want to talk to you for a moment about physical distance versus social distance. We're being told to socially distance ourselves right now. And really, if you think about it, that's not what we're doing. We're all finding ways to connect like this right now. People are communicating via phone, FaceTime, Zoom, social media. We're still connected in a way, but we're really just physically distancing. And I think if we can think about it in that way, it makes it a little bit more bearable, especially for people who are highly social. Even those who are the most introverted people still need connection, human connection in some way. It might be, with a much smaller group of people, but the thought of completely socially distancing yourself can really take a psychological toll on you. So if you think about it more as physical distancing, that can help. As you're moving through these days, as much as you can, try to keep a schedule. And I know that many of you right now are trying to figure that out. Some of you have kids who are at home and should be at school right now, and you're having to figure out that equation. At the same time, you're trying to figure out, how do I keep my business rolling? All of these different pieces that are unusual, and you're making a new plan for that. Whatever that new plan is for you, as much as possible, try to keep to some kind of a schedule. And with respect to work, even if it's only an hour or two a day that you're getting in right now, keep that schedule. Get up, get dressed, get ready for whatever your day is going to be. Resist the temptation to stay in your pajamas. When I started doing this job online, knowing that I could do this all virtually, I told my husband, it's a slippery slope. I will never, ever, ever work in my pajamas, even if people can't see me. I promise you I'm not wearing pajama bottoms. I do have a blanket though, because it's snowing here in North Idaho, but I get dressed every day. We put on makeup, get ready for your day. One of our colleagues, Jared, shared that one of his friends who works from home does this, and then he goes out and gets in the car and drives around the block so that he feels like he's showing up to work. That really psychologically puts you in the frame of mind of, now it's my work day even though I'm at work. Ongoing client engagement is super important at any time. Right now it's especially important. Even if that engagement is a little bit different right now, even if it's just that you are checking in with your clients to see if they're okay. Right now, when I do any kind of a coaching call, it's the first question I ask. We talk about that first. How are you doing? How is your family doing? On the other side of this crisis situation, they're going to remember that. They're going to remember the stability in their world of you reaching out to them and making that contact just to see if they're okay. Now, if it's actually a business call, that's great. You can move into that as well, but make sure that you're continuing to connect with your clients. One of the things that people are doing right now, I know professionals that do this all the time, they've been doing it for a while, is a virtual coffee chat. And this is where you choose maybe 1, 2, or 3 clients per week, and you schedule a 30-minute coffee date with them online. So via Zoom or whatever online platform you're using, it's a quick check-in. You can make it about business, you can make it about personal, whatever it is, but you're just checking in with them. That's actually a really good habit to get into even going forward. Now, if you used to meet with your clients at happy hour, do that too. Who says you can't do that? Have your glass of wine virtually. You don't have to drive anywhere, so it's safe. Continue to have that client engagement. As much as possible, positivity is super important right now. People are clinging to whatever kind of stability and positive vibe they can get from people. So if you can be that person, remind them that you're in this together. Literally everybody in the world right now is going through this. As positive as you can be and focusing on the things that you can do right now, not just on the things that you can't do right now, is really going to help people. And again, it really helps with that client retention on the other side of things. Obviously, we need to use virtual platforms right now, and you can use that for coaching and training. We actually don't know any other way almost anymore. We do some classroom work, but we actually do full workshops online. So everything that we do right now has to be via this kind of format or on the phone, and it can be done. Good news, Assessments 24/7 is already virtual. So we're not having to redo anything so that you can do what you need to do in your business right now, but move it to an online platform. It's already done for you. We've always been virtual, so that's great news. Now, if you're learning new technology right now in order to keep your business going on an online format, use your family and friends to help you. It's a great way to connect with them when you're feeling isolated from them, and practice using some of these tools that you haven't used before. If you have teenagers in the house or teenagers that you can Zoom with, young people, I tell you, they know everything about technology. They'll be able to show you how to do whatever it is that you need to do. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk I just want to talk to you for a moment about practicing DISC in crisis. It's really important right now to be really connected to your listening and holistic communication. Pay attention to what's going on in front of you. Many of you on the line right now are DISC certified practitioners. You've been practicing this, you've been coaching this, and those of you who aren't quite certified yet have a foundation in that. This visual right here is taken from the DISC report. You can reference it on pages 11 and 12. Those are the word sketches, and this is that static section at the very top that reminds you of the needs, the core emotions, and the fears of each of the styles at the high level. Really important to remind yourself of those things right now so that you can recognize what's happening before you, and try to meet those needs as much as possible. Keep in mind also that in times of crisis, DISC styles may change. So that S style that is usually very, very steady, super patient, always taking care of everybody else, might suddenly become that D style and trying to drive things forward and trying to have control of something because they have no control. So just be mindful of what's going on around you, even your own DISC style, whether it's with your family and with your clients. We have an advantage here with what we do. This is what we do every single day, and we now get to put that knowledge into practice in a very different way right now, and people really need that. So let's go ahead and continue. So virtual business, how do you move this to an online platform? Whether that's going to be temporary for you, or maybe going forward, you learn something here that might be even more effective for you going forward. So a couple things we're going to talk about. So first of all, there are a lot of platforms out there. We happen to use Zoom. There are a lot of features with Zoom that we like. I do recommend that you upgrade to a pro account if you're going to do this, because it gives you so many more features. There are plenty of other online options, and maybe when some of you fill out your survey, you can share some of the ones that you use that you really like and why you use that, and we'd be happy to share that with the group. I'm also going to remind you of the virtual training tools that are available to you. I think that people forget that those are available. So I'm going to just take a moment later on. I'm going to show you a screenshot of what those trainer materials look like and just remind you to utilize those materials. We're going to talk about virtual workshops or even just working with small groups, but doing it virtually. We're going to talk a little bit about how to make that fun and engaging. And we have a little bit of an engagement activity for you that will happen in a little bit. And then we'll talk about virtual one-on-one coaching sessions. Okay, so tips for virtual workshops or even working in small groups. Again, we recommend Zoom, that's what we use, but there are a lot of other mediums out there that you can use. Upgrade to Pro, it's not very expensive, and it gives you a lot more features to be able to do these kinds of things in a much better way. Have fun and engage as much as you can. So just a little history, I've been a teacher and educator for 24 years. So I've been in classroom situations, physical classroom situations, and I've trained virtually. Just about anything that you can do in a physical classroom, you can make it happen online now. So even little breakout sessions, you can make that happen. It's important that when you do that, you take a little bit of time to do those initial greetings, do a pulse check-in, and right now, really important to do that. How is everybody doing? Let everybody get that chit-chat out of the way before you dive in. Right now, if you happen to have had any kind of a group session on the books or a workshop and they're postponing it because you can't get together in a room, reach out to them and see if they'd be willing to actually go ahead and do this now, but do it in a virtual format. We can help you with that. And you have time, hopefully, depending on when that would be, you may have some time to actually practice that so that you can still make that engagement happen. But if you do that, recognize where people are at right now and make sure that you have those initial greetings. People haven't seen each other in a while, and get that out of the way first. After that happens, record the session if that's what the group wants. So polls are a really fun way to engage with people as you're doing the workshops. I'm actually going to have Monica bring up a poll right now for you. You guys are going to have an opportunity to answer this question. So go ahead and take a few minutes, or a few seconds, I should say, and answer this question in front of you. Okay, and Monica, if you would go ahead and share those results. Let's see how everybody is dealing with quarantine. 5 p.m. Zoom social. That win.
Big surprise, right?
I am not surprised at all. I have a few people who are moving from their morning to evening PJs, definitely sending the kids out for a 4-hour PE session. Looks like all of these are viable options. Good job. So that's a really great and fun way to engage with people when you're doing online workshops. You can use that as actual check-ins for understanding. If you do it as a check-in for understanding versus something that's just fun like that as an icebreaker, let's say you're doing a DISC workshop and you're giving a scenario and you're asking them, okay, which style do you think this is, D, I, S? The last one, just a little tip, should just be a funny throwaway comment. So it's obviously not the right answer, but just a fun one. It just kind of keeps things light and fun, and it's a really great way to drive that interaction throughout the workshop. Make sure you have Q&A for engagement like what we're doing right now. We might not be able to get to all of your questions, but we're engaging at the moment. And then breakout rooms. This is an awesome feature of Zoom, and I think that other platforms use this as well. This is where you literally can break into separate rooms within the online platform. So imagine if you're in a classroom And typically you would break people into a small group to go do a 20 or 30-minute activity to help drive home these concepts. You can still do that online by using these breakout rooms. So I mentioned before, use your family and friends to help you practice this. If this is not something that you've ever done before, make this a game and connect with your family this way. So for example, my niece is 14 years old. She's very social. She's into theater. So she is missing her friends terribly right now, as are all kids at this point. And so because they can't go out and perform their one-act plays, what we're doing is we're going to schedule a time that all of her friends can Zoom in, and they're going to go off into their little breakout rooms, and they're going to practice a scene, and then they're going to come back and they're going to perform it to the group. This, if you use something like that with your family just to practice being able to use this feature, it's going to help you when you actually do it live with a group. So let your family help you. Follow-up. It's really important to schedule some sort of a follow-up whenever you do a workshop, whenever you do a group activity, and the one-on-ones as well. So have a plan for follow-up, whether that's email or a survey like what we're going to send out, sending a video if you're recording it. Make sure that you're going to follow up with some sort of contact. Okay. I want to take a moment to remind you of the trainer materials that you have available to you. So you might remember this screen. There's a library of all kinds of materials available. So we have some videos, we have some activities that you can use. You can't see it down here. It's not in the screenshot, but there are some PowerPoint presentations. We have some debrief guides for you. You can access these from your dashboard. Any type of assessment that you're using, there are some trainer materials that are available to you with a password. Those of you out there who are certified have access from another page. So you have some additional materials available to you. But I just wanted to remind you of this because I think a lot of people forget that these materials are there. And then I also want to point out the sample reports. If you were looking at that, you know, page 11 and 12 of the disc, where it shows the needs, the emotions, and the fears of each of the styles, and you're forgetting where that was and you don't have a report handy, you can go to these sample reports and pull up the disc report as a sample. Okay, so let's talk about tips for one-on-one coaching. And this can work in small groups as well, but again, be the consistency in their life. A lot of people don't have any consistency right now, and they're looking for a few anchors, some really strong anchors. You can be the legs upon which they stand, just like we hope that you're going to allow us to be the legs upon which you stand as you move through this process. So be that consistency. Schedule regular meetings with people as they need them. Help them to plan versus panic. They're going to remember that on the other side, and that'll really help drive that customer retention for you. Face-to-face is ideal right now because people can't meet in person. So if you have to meet by phone, that's fine. If you have to use WhatsApp, if it's international and they're not able to, you know, log into Zoom or whatever, if they can't do that, you have some options, but if at all possible, let them see your eyes, communicate with them visually so that they feel like they have some sort of human contact. Again, do those initial greetings and do a pulse check-in. How are they doing? Right now, I don't move past that on any coaching call that I'm doing until I know how that person is really doing. And sometimes that conversation goes on for a little while because their disc is all over the place and they need to dump. So I just let them do that. You get to decide if this is a business or personal call. If you're continuing with business, that's great. If it ends up just being an entirely personal call, that's great too. Whatever you can do to connect with your clients, they're going to really appreciate that. And if it's a coaching session, offer to record it for them I do this anyway because we share a lot of information and it's hard to remember all of that. And that way they don't have to feel like they have to write everything down and remember everything. And especially right now when people's brains are all over and maybe they're distracted, their kids are around. So just record the call for them and then send them a link. You can do that in Zoom. And once again, be consistent and have a plan for follow-up so that they know you're consistently going to be there for them, and you know that you have a plan for continuing to connect with your clients. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Monica. Those are just some tips to get you started, and I hope that you will fill out that survey to share some additional tips with us that we can send out to the group, but also asking us your questions and letting us know what you're concerned about so that we can have a good dialogue going forward. And then that will determine, all of that feedback will determine how we continue to connect with you going forward, so that we provide for you whatever it is that you need, however we can help you. So Monica, I'm gonna send it to you.
Thanks so much, Kathy. You are a pro. That's wonderful advice. Thank you for sharing. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to remind people that we do offer virtual certifications, if that's something you're interested in. I see on the list here, there's a ton of people that are actually certified in all 5 of our certifications, which means that they're an advanced certified practitioner, an ACP. So again, we have DISC, motivators, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, or some people call it the Hartman Value Profile. Sorry, brain went away there for a second. And learning styles. They're all self-paced, and you do get continuing education credits. So if you want more info, let us know. Just wanted to put that out there and remind everyone that we can provide a virtual certification training for you right now. So thanks again. All right, Suzette, let us know what's going on with the new 360 platform, please.
Yeah, thanks, Monica, and thank you, Kathy. That was such great information. I'm getting compliments up and down here in chat and everything else, so awesome job. I just wanted to take a minute to let you all know about our newest update. So if you're currently using 360 assessments, or if you've ever been interested in using 360 assessments, you'll be happy to hear that our 360 assessment process is now easier than ever to use. So we will be sending out an email that will go over these updates, and it'll include the new instruction guide on sending out 360s. So these updates include being able to easily send out and manage assessments. Our observer invitation process has become much easier to use. You'll be able to choose to invite the observers on behalf of the user or allow the user to do it themselves with just a click of a button. So you can see sample reports of every 360 assessment we have to offer on our sample reports page. This is actually what you have access to on the home page of your account, so a little sample reports button there. While our 360 process has been updated, the actual assessment users page itself has had an update to it as well in this process. So the assessment users page works in the same way it always has. It just has an updated look, so it's much more clear to take and complete the assessment. So again, you'll receive an email with more information regarding this update as well as that instruction guide, but please feel free to contact me if you have any questions about this. You can always contact me directly. I was going to take a minute to answer a few questions, but there really wasn't that many, and the couple that we did have, I think we had some answers for. So I'm going to go ahead and skip over that. Let me just make sure.
I especially liked Mark's comment that he's already started with his scotch. That was good.
That was great. That was great. Yeah. So some of you are already into evening. Yeah.
Yeah, we're on the West Coast. So it's only 12:30 here.
Yeah, exactly. So as always, feel free to contact me directly. You can see the email there. You can email us there. You can email us at our support email. Feel free to email me directly if you have any other questions that weren't answered. If you want a 360 added to your assessment account that we just talked about, let me know and I can do that right away for you. But I will just send this back to you, Monica.
Thank you so much, Suzette. The 360 is really exciting. So thanks for sharing that. And I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us. We're really, really pleased that we had so many people join. Thank you so much. just another reminder to take that survey. And before we go, I did want to open it up to Tony. Dr. Tony Alessandra's on the line here, our founder. And so hopefully he's there. I can't tell if he's there, but I'm going to allow him to talk. So Tony, are you there?
Can you hear me?
He might have. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
we can hear you.
Yes, yes. I want to thank all the people, Monica, Suzette, Kathy, very, very good job. You know, I've been through this longer than some of you have been alive. And I've got to tell you, particularly with Kathy, I picked up some good pointers. So thank you. I hope this really does help everybody. We did not want this to be commercial or salesy. We wanted to be informational. And we really look forward to getting your feedback to tell us what additional webinars like this that we can do to meet your needs, to answer whatever questions or concerns that you might have. What we're attempting to do is to make things easier for you to do business with your clients during this time where many of us have been confined to our homes and not in our offices. So again, I thank my team for being so good at putting this together and actually delivering it. And I ask all of the people who have attended this and who might listen to it afterwards to please give us some feedback. Tell us how well we have done and what we can do better. So Monica, back to you.
Thank you so much, Tony. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all of our clients. We are here to support you and want to continue these webinars. So we'll let you know when the next one will be. We're getting a few more questions in, so maybe Suzette can help me. But Tony, you got a question in, what's happening with the book? I'm thinking it's the core assessment book that they're referring to. Do you want to talk to that?
Yeah, there actually are two books. One is the book that's primarily about our core assessments, but we focus much more in this volume one. There's going to be two volumes. Volume one is on discs and motivators. We do touch on the other three core assessments, Hartman Value Profile, Emotional Intelligence, and Learning Styles. But those will be put in more depth in volume two. So that was one of the books, Monica. The other book that I think some people may be asking about is the book where we were going to have about 40 of our key coaches and trainers telling us in this book how they use assessments, what issues they were faced with, how they addressed it with assessments, and what the success or the results were. And Amy on our staff is managing that. We're going in a little different direction. We're going to do this as a free book. We're only going to take 40 people. If we get a whole lot more, maybe we'll do a volume two. But this will be a great book because it will be a book that any of you can pick up, look at what situations people have dealt with, how they addressed the issue, and what results they got from it. So it's great in terms of being able to see what best practices other people are using. One last thing I wanted to mention, Suzette, great job on the 360s. Just wanted to let people know that we do have a leadership effectiveness 360. We have an emotional intelligence 360. We have a DISC 360. Those are three biggies. But we have another one called PGI, the Performance Gap Indicator. It's not really a 360. It's a company-wide assessment that looks at 5 key areas of a business and tells you which of those areas you are performing well or maybe not so well. This is a great marketing tool that you can use with your clients to get more coaching from them in areas that they don't score as well. So Monica, back to you.
Great, thank you, Tony. And we have one last question. I'm hoping maybe Kathy can talk to this. Do you have any emotional intelligence resources that help when working with youth?
Yeah, so our assessments are primarily, you could start taking them roughly at age 14, but keep in mind the brain is still developing. We don't have anything for young kids yet. However, and this isn't to emotional intelligence specifically, but we are currently working on a kid version of DISC. So we're very excited about that. That's coming up down the road. Not specifically for EIQ.
Hey, Monica, when you were asking that question, were you saying emotional intelligence for youth or emotional intelligence for youths? I'm from Brooklyn, so I wasn't quite sure what you were saying there.
I'm from San Diego, so I say it correctly, youth. Just kidding. Well, good. Is there anything else that you wanted to speak to? I know you were kind of answering as you were going along. Is there any other questions you wanted to bring up live?
Yeah, I didn't see anything. We've answered pretty much everyone's questions. One, we had our good friend Tim in the chat write and ask why we didn't allow everyone to kind of chat together and have everyone unmuted. I think the reason for this was one of our first sort of big webinars most recently, and because we had well over 100 attendees, we kind of wanted to make sure it ended on time. Didn't want to have too many people being able to kind of talk over each other and different things. Just wanted to let you guys know about our updates and sort of this information we had about webinars. But I think that was the only reason. Maybe next time we'll kind of make it more engaging and have everybody talking together. But I think that was all on my end.
Thanks, Suzette. Well, good. Yeah, my hope with this was to open it up and have a big conversation. We just had too many people on the webinar. It wouldn't have worked. Yeah. So again, please partake in the survey and share your thoughts there. And we will absolutely get back to everyone and let you know when the next webinar is scheduled and what that topic will be. Thank you so much for everyone. Kathy, is there anything else you wanted to add before we go?
No, just one thing that, so I was trying to get everything in just for sort of this launch, but one of the things that is happening with us right now is that people who signed up for trainings and have not had time to finish those kinds of things are now coming back because suddenly they have time and they're finishing their certifications. You may have some clients out there who have paid you for services and then life happened. Those are some good clients right now to be reaching out to, even though they've already paid for that, but it's client engagement and bringing them back and, you know, having that conversation of how can we do this maybe virtually? So just kind of an idea when you're thinking about who do I reach out to right now, because they're all in the same situation essentially. So it's just one additional thought that I wanted to throw out there, but do please fill out that survey. I really look forward to getting those and figuring out ways to really help you guys out. We really just hope that you are safe and well, and we hope that this phase is over really soon, but whether it is or isn't, we are here for you.
Thank you, Kathy. And I see one more question from Marty. Will you be sending out the slide deck? Yes, the slide deck will be included in the email with the survey, with the recording. It'll be there. Oh, maybe you already answered that. Is that, sorry.
I did not know that was good. Yeah, everybody, the survey, the recorded version of this, the slide deck, like Monica said, that's all going to be emailed to you. So don't worry about that.
Oh, Caroline Tan's on from Malaysia. She needs the updated Chinese version of our motivators. We're on it. We're on it, Caroline. Promise. Great. Well, thank you so much, everyone. We really do appreciate your time, and we look forward to hearing from you all. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.